Okay, again, I'm Angela. I'm the Associate Director of the Running Start program. I also do our advising for students who do in-person advising here in Ellensburg. And I'm also occasionally available for online advising. And Chelsea, can you introduce yourself?
Of course. I think I know most of you that I saw logging in, which is great. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chelsea, and I am the advisor for Online Running Start at CWU. I also meet with students that are in person if you would rather meet online for a meeting, and I can help you find in-person classes as well.
And Chuck?
I always hit the wrong button. Hi, everybody. My name is Chuck. I'm the program coordinator for the Running Start program. Usually I'm the guy that reviews your applications, contacts you if you need any help with your transcripts, you need to submit supporting documents. And I'm usually the first go-to when it comes to asking any questions about the program itself.
And Ms. Shiloh?
Hi, everybody. I'm Shiloh. I'm the Running Start peer mentor here at CWU. And I'm the person that if you need help making an appointment with our wonderful advisors, you come talk to me and I can get you set up with that. I also have resources and information about a lot of stuff here on campus, as I myself am a student currently.
Thank you. And then we're just going to jump right into it. So our first speaker is Ms. Elba Sanchez-Baez. Hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. From
Yes.
Edmonton. And so she's going to share information with you about CWU and welcome you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yes, fantastic. I'm Elba Sanchez-Baez from the Admissions Offer. My title is Senior Admissions Counselor, and I have been recruiting in the Tri-Cities area for the last 3 years, and we are very excited to have everyone here joining us this afternoon for orientation. So first, if you're interested in applying as an undergraduate student after high school, our office is the main point of contact. At Central, we have over 135 different programs. So if you know that you already are interested in applying because you may be looking into programs like aviation or music or theater, those programs usually require an additional application process. So connecting with our office early has a benefit because usually we can provide you with that additional information that you will need to ensure a smooth application process, not only to the university, but also to the program itself. However, if you're like, I have no idea what I want to study. Everything sounds good. And I really want to make sure that I'm making an informed decision before committing. That's okay too. You can just say, hey, I just want to explore some options, still come to Central. We can help you out, just choose some classes and then you can choose the major that you want. So regardless of how that academic experience looks like for you after high school, at Central you have a place. In admissions, we're happy to help you with that information. So please connect with us. I'll be staying here to answer any questions that you may have about our office. I have shared the online version of our search piece for this new academic year. So you can take a look at what Central has to offer for undergraduate students, especially for those senior students that are thinking heavily about Central as their first choice. Please take a look and feel free to ask me any questions. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Elba. And again, Elba will be here. She also dropped the flip book for Central in the chat. So if you guys want to check that out at some point, see about our programs. And next we have Chelsea from the library, who's going to talk about library resources.
All right, let me get my screen share here. If somebody can just give me a thumbs up that you can see the libraries. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Chelsea Riddle, and I am the Research Engagement Librarian here at CWU Libraries. And I am here to share a little bit about library resources with you because you have a lot available to you as a Running Start student. So we want to make sure that you take advantage of all of these resources. All right. So CWU Libraries has two physical locations that we would love to see you at. You're more than welcome to come to the library space on either of these campuses. The James E. Brooks Library is on our Ellensburg campus, and it is much bigger and more robust with lots more resources that we'll talk about here in just a moment. And then we also have a CWU Linwood Center Library at Edmonds College. So either of those locations are absolutely available to you. Running Start students have access in these spaces to digital resources and databases. So even if you can't come into a physical library space, you have online access to lots of library resources. Digital resources like ebooks and databases where you can find journal articles. And you also have access to checking out materials like books and DVDs and other things from the collection. So to check out materials, you will need your connection card. And I am of the understanding that our access services head, Joanna, is working on making sure that everybody has access to everything they need to check out things from the library.
Chelsea, just
However,
quickly, there's a little bit of feedback that it's a little scratchy sounding.
Oh, I am so sorry. Let me see if I can fix that by changing my audio. Thank you for letting me know. Here we go. Is that audio any better now?
It is for me.
Okay. Apologies. Please let me know if it's still rough for anybody, and I will try again. All right. Let's see. Where was I at? Running Start students, things you have access to, and things you don't. So just to note here, some things that you don't have access to as a Running Start student are technology loans. So unfortunately, you can't check out things like laptops from the library. We are also unable to mail things out from campus. And then room reservations are the one other thing that you can't do. However, if rooms are open, you are more than welcome to use library space always. So again, we'd love to see you in the library. All right. So one of those resources that you do have access to is research help from librarians. That help is available through email, phone, appointments, and we also have a 24/7 chat service. So anytime of the day or night, there's a librarian available to assist you, even if it's online. We also like to encourage you to be sure you check out OneSearch, which is the search for our library catalog. For your textbooks that you get assigned for your classes before you just go out and buy them right away, because some of those might be available at the library or online. So the library's website is super easy to remember. It's just lib.cwu.edu. And you can see the main search box here on this screen, where you can search for your textbooks. And then our questions asked here link right to our 24/7 chat, our email appointments, and then our phone number as well. So however you are most comfortable reaching out, we are available for help. So if you do choose to schedule an appointment with a librarian, we can help you with any step of the research process. So we offer in-person and online research help. So don't be afraid to send us an email if you prefer to communicate that way. If you prefer to come in person, we have a designated research support space for you. But we're also happy to just do a Zoom appointment if that is most convenient. We also have online tutorials and research guides as resources for you, so you don't have to interact with us if you don't want to, but we are always happy to work with you on your research. We can work with you on developing your research strategy, focusing a research topic, finding sources, and evaluating information from a variety of perspectives. We can also help you with ethically using sources, avoiding plagiarism, citation management, and things like that. So don't be afraid to email us directly, schedule an appointment, or use our 24/7 chat, which is what the QR code on the screen right now links to. In Brooks Library on Ellensburg campus, like I mentioned at the start of my little section here, we have lots of spaces that are really nice and available and open to you. So be sure that you swing by and check out the archives and special collections. Our archivists would love to see you, and they have some really cool stuff in there. We also have family study space, group and individual study rooms that are available for you, a cafe, so if you need a pick-me-up while you're studying. The Learning Commons offers tutoring services. We just recently opened a reflection space that is brand new and really lovely. And we also have the Student Commons and a Wildcat, the Wildcat Pantry on the first floor. So lots of things to see in the Brooks Library, and it's just a really nice, calm study space. Also, be sure to check out our library events in person and online. Quarterly events are available at cwu.libcal.com/calendar/events. And I can't recommend the Research Smarts series enough. Those are always online, and they are a great place to brush up on your research skills. All right, that was all that I have. Thank you so much for your time. Feel free to contact us any of these ways, and I will hang around for questions.
So Chelsea, there was a request to put up the QR code again. I'm assuming that was the one that was at the end. So if we can pull that up.
Sure thing. Apologies, I took it down too quick. There you go.
Thank you. And then we have this is our online orientation, but I think we have some students who are local who are here.
Oh, great.
So I'm pretty sure there's lots of events that they can attend in the library, right?
Yes, absolutely. I can also scoot back there to that calendar link, and just in case I ran through that too quickly. We do absolutely have in-person events as well. Something that I would absolutely recommend you check out is our list of finals week events. We have something going on every single day of finals week. And my personal favorite is the Pause and Relax event that we always do to kick off finals week, where we bring in therapy dogs into the fourth floor of the library that you can just kind of come and chill out with to relieve some of that finals week stress. So we also love to feed you that week. We have like a pizza night or a waffle night we did one time, or a mac and cheese night we did one time. So you never know what fantastic things are going to pop up during finals week. So can't recommend that you check out that events calendar enough. And I will also scoot back to that QR code one more time there. That is linked to our 24/7 chat service.
Thank you, Chelsea. And I just dropped a link in the chat for the library website and then also for the events calendar. So please check that out, students and guests. And if you are close enough to be local or willing to drive over, I would again encourage you to check out the events during finals week. I know with many students I've worked with, they love cuddling with the dogs and like the food. And it's a good opportunity for you to connect with other students if you can attend events in person at all. There's a lot of spaces where people just hang out and connect with each other. And if you're feeling antisocial, there's lots of quiet places too. We're going to do last call for questions, and then we're going to allow Chelsea to enjoy the rest of her night. So we'll give it like a couple seconds and
let me know if any questions. We cannot wait to see you in the libraries. Like I said, there's always something fun going on. So.
Okay, thank you, Chelsea. And now I'm realizing, Grace, I completely skipped over you. I am just like failing at everything today. So we're actually going to have Grace Pearson next from events, who was supposed to go first, but I forgot. So Grace, we'll turn it over to you now.
Sounds great. So my name is Grace Pearsons. I'm the Campus Activities Program Manager. So we host a lot of the large scale events on campus. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and you should be seeing the Campus Activities presentation. Is that correct for everybody? Perfect. All right. So like I said, what we do is host large scale events, and we are part of SLICE, which stands for Student Leadership Involvement and Community Engagement. And so that's really big. We have a lot of departments within our department. So I'm a part of campus activities. There's also leadership, which has a leadership cohort. And if you complete that, it's a 1/4 long cohort where you get a letter of recommendation and a certificate of completion by the end of the program. We have community engagement, which is the hub for a lot of our volunteer opportunities. You can volunteer on or off campus. We keep track of all of your hours so that by the time that you graduate from Running Start, and if you continue at Central later on, you will get all of your hours listed out of what you worked on at your time at Central. We also have clubs as a part of our department. We have over 150 clubs. There are in-person clubs, online clubs, all sorts of different types of clubs. There's professional clubs that would include things like the pre-medicine club, the business club, the psychology club. We also have some really fun clubs like the cosplay club, the anime club. We have lots of different things to choose from there. We also have a lot of events coming up. So this would be a good time to take a screenshot if you are interested in coming to some of our events. One thing to keep in mind, if you are under the age of 18, that some of our events do have waivers. So it is pretty rare. I'd say maybe once or twice a quarter, there's going to be an event with a waiver. But if you are under the age of 18, you do need a parent or guardian signature. We do try to be pretty good about that, about posting on our social media of what events need waivers versus don't need waivers, because we know there are quite a few of you that are under the age of 18. If that applies to you, please just email us. We'll send you the waiver ahead of time so that you can get that signature early and then bring it to the event. And probably not a lot of you have heard of Suitable, but this is the app that we use for all of our events. So not just in the campus activities department, but in lots of departments across campus. So if you scan these QR codes, we have it for Apple and Android. This keeps track of all of the events that you attend. So this will keep track of a lot of your volunteer hours. This will keep track of any events that you attend. And this is really helpful for when you're applying for colleges post high school graduation, because then you can go back into the app and see just how many events that you've attended and be able to talk about your engagement. So a lot of colleges do look about for your involvement. This is the perfect thing to show how much you were involved while you were in Running Start. And the best ways to learn about what's going on campus, I know that it can be pretty overwhelming because there is a lot going on. On the first day of classes, this little magazine is posted in the CIRC. So this is called the Hype Booklet. And in the back, we have all of the schedules for every single event going on campus. And so this is a really good place if you're in person. On the first day of classes, they'll also be posting an online version as well. So keep an eye out for that. If you search CWU Hype, it should be able to pop up for you. Another good way to see what's going on is if you have an Instagram account. CWU Campus Activities, CWU Hype, and CWU Slice are a really good way to see a lot of broad events on campus. It's going to be everything from volunteer leadership clubs to large scale events like concerts and food festivals. So really good place to start. And if you're in person, we also have posters all over campus in every single building. So you can just look at any of the TAC boards and see what's going on campus. And then I just always like to talk about why getting involved is so important. So students who are involved in campus activities are scientifically proven to get higher grades, complete their degree requirements, and have better mental health overall. So you're really investing in yourself when you participate in activities. Overall, you will just be happier, and we do such fun things. It also helps you get into colleges after high school, and it could also really help you make friends as well and build that community. And now I'd like to open it up for any questions.
So Grace, I have a question. Are there opportunities for students to participate in some of these activities as online students, like some of the clubs or anything like that?
Yeah, so we do have several online clubs. And so if you search CWU clubs and then filter for online ones, you should be able to find them. If you are having a hard time finding online clubs, you can email CW Slice, so slice@cwu.edu. I'll put that in the chat along with my email as well. And you can ask any questions about clubs from there, and they'll help you get connected. And for large scale events, a lot of times we do stream them online if you're not able to come in person, and we'll post about that on our social medias of which ones are streamed versus which ones are not.
Thank you. And again, if you have any questions about clubs or getting involved or anything for Grace, please put it. Oh, and we have a question. If you join a CW club as a high school junior, can you put it on your transcript to show it to colleges?
Yes, you definitely can. And even as a Running Start student, you can start your own club and be officers in clubs. And so that is a really good resume builder and application builder. So if you could be the secretary, the vice president, anything like that in any club. So it is a really good thing to get involved in.
And certainly something you can put on your resume as well. Something that I tell a lot of students is if you're looking at competitive colleges or you're looking at competitive scholarship opportunities, one thing that they really like is to see your involvement with the community or how you've participated in your community, whatever that is, whether it's your high school, whether it's your college, or whether it's the larger community. And again, Grace mentioned there's lots of service opportunities. And those are good things that you can document, particularly with the site that Grace discussed. So that way, when you are going to fill out that college application or that scholarship application, and it asks you to talk about how you've been involved and how you've contributed to your community, you can talk about that. And you can even reference back to it because they essentially keep like a transcript for you. And there was a question about how to find things and where to go. So Grace has a few things in the chat that you can check out. But I do encourage you, we've had Running Start students do all kinds of clubs over the years. Grace didn't say it, but Grace was a Running Start student before, and Grace did a lot of clubs. She was super involved. And there's like pre-medicine clubs, pre-engineering clubs, there's fun clubs, there's social clubs, there are service clubs, clubs for majors. So it's a really good way to find like-minded people and people who are interested in the same sort of future that you might be interested or the same type of service you might want to do. Last call for questions for Grace. And any of our speakers, again, this will be recorded, but we can also connect you with anybody later as well. So I'm going to call it for Grace. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
We will now have Rachel Berry to talk about the Learning Commons.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the peer mentoring coordinator in the Learning Commons. So as Chelsea mentioned earlier, one specific area of the library that is open to you is the Learning Commons. And let me just share my screen with you guys really quick. We have lots of really awesome tutoring resources for you guys. So we'll go over those really quickly here. Can I just get a thumbs up if you guys can see my screen? Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So some really awesome tutoring resources we have for you guys. We offer a variety of different tutoring styles to help everybody kind of find what they need. So first and foremost, we offer our one-on-one services, which include math, all 100 level gen ed math courses, as well as writing. And this is conducive of all classes that you may have to write anything in. And one really awesome caveat to our writing tutors is that we do have access to online tutoring for our writing center. So if you ever have a paper that you need edited and you're not here in Ellensburg, you can submit your paper via screencast and a tutor can look over it for you virtually, which is really cool. We also offer subject-specific tutoring. So these are subjects that have been historically identified as being difficult. Some that kind of come to mind are like engineering and aviation. And these are students who work one-on-one with tutoring. We also offer our Wildcat Academic Mentors. So this is a group of undergraduate students who have been identified as student leaders and can help with the transition to university. This is a service that is specific to Ellensburg. We don't offer mentoring over Zoom, but we do offer it to any students who are on campus if you need to be able to practice your study skills or learn time management techniques, or if you even just want a recommendation of where to go on campus for the best coffee or somebody to sit with you while you do your homework. That's a really great resource for that. We also offer our peer-assisted learning tutors, which is another group of tutors who specialize in subjects that are historically difficult, but these tutors work in a group tutoring method, and so you'll find that PALs may be assigned to your classes, and they'll offer like weekly, sometimes couple times a week tutoring sessions where you can meet with the tutor as well as other students in your class to be able to go over some difficult content. And then lastly, Learning Commons offers exploratory advising. And this is a really great opportunity in the future to be able to meet with an academic advisor that you can talk about some different academic paths that may be a good fit for you. And there's a couple of different ways that you can contact us. If you have any questions at all, please email us at tutoring@cwu.edu. If you just need to find a tutor, you can also drop in anytime. Our hours are listed here. For our math, writing, and peer mentoring students, we are open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So really big range of hours there. We are we're open on Friday from 10 to 4. We're closed on Saturday, but we have a few hours on Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m. And then for our PALS and subject-specific tutors, because these are really specific classes that these students tutor, I would really recommend checking out our website. As I mentioned, all of the tutoring services except for peer mentoring are available to our online students. You can also follow our Instagram, which is a really great opportunity to learn about any sort of events that we're putting on. Sometimes they post some studying techniques, things like that. But before I close out, I wanted to show you a little bit of our website so that you can kind of navigate it to be able to find the subjects that you're looking for. So once you come to the Learning Commons web page, you'll find this here is our landing page. And then we have all of these subjects here that kind of dive a little bit deeper. So if we're looking for specifically for PALS, we would go to the PALS, the peer assisted learning page. And here you'll be able to find, we haven't updated it from spring quarter yet, but we'll have it updated for the fall. This will be all of the subjects that we have listed. So if you're looking for, say, English tutoring, as you see, it will resume in fall of 2025, but there will be our English PALS tutors listed here, as well as what time they tutor and what building they tutor in. And then, so for our PALS, I forgot to mention, all of the PALS tutors are located in different buildings. And so that's why it's really important to check the website to be able to learn where they might be. But for our subject-specific math and writing and peer mentoring, they are all located in the Learning Commons. And then, so just a really good landing page if you ever need to find anything. And you can schedule an appointment with tutoring through your MyCWU portal. Once you log into your MyCWU portal, up in the top corner, there's going to be a handy little application called Inspire. And that's where you can find, you can make an appointment with your advisor as well as make an appointment with any tutoring. But like I said, all tutoring also accepts drop-ins. So feel free to come stop by, check it out, just hang out in the Learning Commons. It's a great place to tutor or just to hang out, even if you don't need tutoring. If you just want to study with some people around you, it's a really great opportunity. So yeah, any questions, I'm here to answer.
And I would really encourage all of you to follow their social media accounts because something I know as an advisor is that they have events all the time because they share them with me. And it will be good for you guys to know, like at the minute when they're having things, and they do a lot of things in person, but a lot of things online. And they really, really like working with Running Start students and college and high school students. And we do have a question. We have a couple. So odd question, but if there's a subject I'm well educated in, can I register to tutor or is it locked to certain groups?
Yeah, so our tutors are undergraduate students who are, full-time in college students. So we typically like to see that students have taken at least 45 credits before they're able to tutor in a specific area. So this is that, like, typically, I can't exactly remember the math, but I think 45 credits translates to about sophomore standing. So yes, it is delegated to certain groups, but tutoring is more than open to come and receive the service anytime.
So it might be something for those of you who are full-time, if you're juniors now, to consider possibly for senior year. And then
Exactly.
the question is, are the times for tutoring sessions the same for online Running Start students?
Yes, so the tutoring sessions are open to any CWU students anytime. So any times that are listed on the website, if you're looking for PALs or subject specific, it's open to all students online. They offer online Zoom tutoring as well. And yeah, so I think that answered that question, hopefully. Anyways.
And the online tutoring that is done that may or may not be with CWU staff, what are the hours for that one?
Yes, so with online tutoring, for math and writing, those are just offered the same hours that the Learning Commons are open. So that Monday through Thursday, 10 to 8, Friday, 10 to 4, and then Sunday, 4 to 8. When you if you're looking for like Zoom tutoring and you haven't made an appointment and you need to drop in, Zoom links are listed on our website. If you have made an appointment though with a specific tutor, a Zoom link will be sent to you for those sessions. And then for PALs and subject specific, those subjects on our website, the Zoom link is located under every subject. So.
If they were to access the e-tutoring that is with the e-consortium, doesn't that have different hours because it's with different colleges?
Yes, that is a really great question. I really wish that I had the answer to that. I am not well versed in our e-tutoring, unfortunately, just because those are through other, colleges and other tutors. But I will drop in the chat if you have any questions about e-tutoring at all. You can find it on our website, but also Christina Majo is a really great person to email if you have any further questions about the online e-tutoring that's not done by our tutors.
Okay, awesome. And I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think you can access it until like midnight. So
yeah, I believe that that's right, but I just don't want to give the wrong information on that.
yeah. Okay, folks, any other questions for Rachel about tutoring? Okay, then we're going to call it, but you guys have her contact info and you have Christina. So, and we can answer questions too generally. So thank you so much, Rachel, for being here. And now we have Natalie. And Natalie, you are welcome to share your screen if you want to show the website.
Okay, hang on one second.
And Natalie is from Disability Services. I don't think I said that, but it will be apparent when she starts talking. There we go.
Okay, can everybody see? Okay. So my name is Natalie. I work as an access specialist in the Disability Services Department. So our department works with any student that has a disability and needs any academic accommodations on campus. So if you are someone in high school who has a 504 or an IEP plan, you are someone that qualifies for services through our department. I have some contact information up here listed. Hang on one second. Okay. So our role as a department and mission is to make the university life more accessible for all students. So we identify specific barriers and challenges that students face to provide equal access through accommodations. We also educate the campus about disability inclusion and serve as a resource for the entire university community. So registering with our department, this over here is just an outline of what the main page of our website looks like. Halfway down the page, there is an application that can be filled out. It'll prompt you to answer a couple questions. What is your diagnosis? How does it impact you? What specific accommodations are you requesting? So there, it'll also give you the option to upload any documentation you might have of your diagnosis. And after that is submitted, we will reach out to schedule an access planning meeting and talk with you one-on-one about those specific barriers and challenges and implement accommodations from there. Once accommodations are implemented through our office, they are implemented for the remainder of your time at the university. Sorry, hang on one second. And we always have an ongoing process. So if something specific isn't working out one quarter, we can always meet again and revisit specific accommodations. Hang But yeah, with any questions or concerns throughout the year, always contact us and we are available to work through any problems. So with documentation that is provided with that application, there's a lot of examples you can upload. So if you have that previous 504 or IEP plan, that can be submitted as documentation, as well as a My Chart summary, a letter from a medical provider. We have on our website outlined specific disability verification forms as well that you're able to give to a medical provider and have them fill out as documentation as well. It helps us as access specialists better understand your needs and any specific barriers or challenges that you face. And we just like that information to include any functional limitations and impacts, as well as recommendations with rationale. Okay, and I also did want to talk a little bit about key differences between high school and college with accommodations, because it is a little bit of a different process. IEPs or 504 plans in high school guide your accommodation plan. The school identifies the supports and needs for each student. Parents are often really involved in that process and the communication. And accommodations in high school may modify assignments or curriculum. In college, IEPs and 504s do not directly transfer over. Like I said before, we have our own process for determining eligibility and what would be appropriate in college. Students must self-identify and have that initial intake meeting with us about their diagnosis, and they also must request their accommodations to use them each quarter. We are the ones that determine accommodations from both the documentation and that interactive process, that initial meeting. And accommodations provide equal access, but do not change any of the academic standards in college. And then these are just some facts about our department. We have around 1,300 students registered with us and actively using accommodations. 95% of those students have invisible disabilities. So that could be ADHD, mental health diagnosis. That's the majority of the students that we work with in our department. And some of the most common accommodations that we implement are extended time on exams and support with note-taking. Okay, and I also wanted to address, because I know that there was a couple of questions yesterday, if you ever have a temporary situation happen, say you get a concussion throughout the year, or you break your arm or break your leg, we will also work with you and be able to communicate with your faculty about that if that happens. So I think that's everything. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, everyone heard, Natalie heard last night me talking about our Ellensburg community and how there's an outbreak of horse kicking concussions in the community. So, Natalie, we did have a question which you addressed, but if students are neurodivergent, they can work with your office?
Yeah.
And a question, so anyone with a 504 in high school are eligible for this help in Running Start?
Yes, absolutely. That first step in the process is just submitting that application, and then we will reach out to get that initial meeting scheduled to implement any accommodations.
Okay. Another question is, how do we sign up for this with ADHD? So again, all of you, if you think you're eligible, you should start with the application process. And something I put in the chat is it's going to prompt you to log in with your CWU account. So make sure that you know that. Everybody who's here should be registered for classes. So that means you should already have a CWU account to be able to log in. But if you're having difficulty with that, reach out to one of us and we can help you, because you do need to log in and access that. But any type of disability that you have, you can access this. And I'm sure Natalie said this and I was reading the questions, but I want to emphasize, if you think you might be eligible and it might be helpful for you, do it sooner rather than later. A lot of students will sometimes want to kind of wait and see how college is before they might request disabilities accommodations. And the reality is, if you have them in place, you don't have to use them. But if you need them and you don't have them in place and you wait until maybe the 3rd or the 4th week of the quarter, when everybody else is also waiting till the third or fourth week of the quarter and realizes that they might want that service and that accommodation, it takes a lot longer, right? They have more time available now. So work with them now. And Natalie, if they need help with parents, can their parents help them as long as they're the students there?
Yeah, so we like the conversation to be directly with the student because they are the student. Parents are more than welcome to be there. We just like the student to really take the lead in that conversation to be able to implement those accommodations. But they're more than welcome to join the meeting as well, and happy to answer any questions that they may have.
And I'm dropping the link for the website in the chat, but they just go to the website and fill out the application?
Yeah, the main page on our website, halfway down, there will be an application link, and that's how you submit it.
Okay, good. Any other questions? And again, I really want to encourage, if any of you guys think you might need it, please, please use it. And I will actually say about concussions, people who get concussed don't know that they need help because they don't know how concussed they are. So if you get a concussion, parents, if you're here and your student gets a concussion, because I see this literally every single year, have your students work with disability services so they can get accommodations. And if you break your hand, which also happens every single year, please have your students connect with disability services because they can get a note taker. If they break their leg, they can get, accommodations to show up late for class or whatever during that time period. So please, 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 please work with them. They have a small staff. They do a lot of really good work. So make it easier for yourself and connect with them sooner rather than later. And I don't see any other questions in the chat, so we're going to call it and say thank you to Natalie. And now we are going to welcome Alexandra Collier. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. I went to a training with her and she was awesome. So I'm sure you guys are all going to really enjoy hearing from her about the Office of Health and Wellness.
Just get everything going. Can I get a thumbs up for the people that have cameras on that you can see my screen? Fantastic. Just making sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn a little bit about the health and wellness resources that you have while you're at CWU. So as Angela said, Alexandra Collier, I'm the Assistant Director in the Office of Health Promotion. And I'm here to just chat with you about all the health and wellness resources that you have. There are some that we won't have access to just yet, but I'll make sure to kind of clarify what those are. So Health and Wellness Unit is made up of 5 areas. So there's my office, the Office of Health Promotion. There's Student Health Services, Counseling Services, Recreation, and the Office of Case Management. All 5 of these areas make up health and wellness. So for Student Health Services, important to know that it's not something that Running Start students have access to. However, if you do transition to full-time Ellensburg campus enrollment, that services may become available to you. They do have resources in the office, and you are welcome to also feel free to walk in. It's not like you can't go into the building. It's just they can't see you for appointments. The same is true for student counseling services. So you wouldn't be able to make a counseling services appointment for ongoing therapeutic treatment. However, they do offer one-time support for somebody experiencing a mental health crisis. So if you are in a crisis situation, you can reach out to counseling services. You can walk in and let them know that you're having a mental health crisis, and they can assist you on a one-time basis and help get you connected with other services in the area. Office of Health Promotion is available to Running Start students. So we have sort of a 3-pronged approach to health. So we do education, prevention, and awareness. And a lot of our education and prevention is through trainings. So you may end up in one of our trainings or education sessions through a class, or if you belong to a club or organization on campus, a lot of them work with us as well. But we do a lot of our awareness through events. So while we aren't as big as campus events and some of the things Grace spoke with you about, we do host events. Our very first event for the year is on October 8th, and it's called Adulthood Unlocked. It's going to be on the Cirque patio east, so out front by the big cat statue. And if you're in Ellensburg, you are welcome to attend. Running Start students are absolutely able to attend any and all of our events. Adulthood Unlocked is a life skills development event. So there's going to be music and snacks, and then there's going to be tables where people are teaching different skills. So how to change a tire, how to pay or how to fill out your W-2 if you're going to become a student employee on campus, how to clean your room quickly for mental health, sleep hygiene, so good ways to get good rest. There are all kinds of things will be going on. And we have events throughout the year. The picture that you're seeing is from our February event, Coping with Clouds. It's a mental health carnival and takes place in the Cirque in the middle of winter when we all need like a little bit of fun. We also have a student lounge in the Cirque. So on the second floor, our office number is 256. And there is a hot beverage bar, a PlayStation, comfy couches, games, coloring. And we also do lounge programs. So like quick mini events, drop-in events, gratitude journals, pet rocks, bracelet making, all those kinds of things. And you're welcome to any of those. The Office of Case Management is also available to Running Start students. They really help students navigate university systems and also provide crisis support. The university has a concern and support form that anybody can fill out for themselves or for anybody else. So if you or someone else you know is in crisis, you can fill out that form. And Office of Case Management will reach out and get them connected to resources and assistance. And then finally, recreation. So recreation is available. That is like our campus gym for students, staff, and faculty. It is available to students who are 16 plus. But it's something that you have to opt into, and membership does have a cost. All of the costs are detailed on the recreation website, and you're welcome to check that out. If you're under 18, you will need a parent to sign off on anything that you're doing. So if you're interested and you're Ellensburg based, please check out Recreation's website because it has all the details about what membership looks like. This QR code that's on the screen now takes you to the Health and Wellness Unit landing page. So all of the offices I just talked about, you can connect to just by accessing this QR code. And that is all I've got. Do we have questions?
Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, I have put the link for Health and Wellness in the chat for you. And just so you all understand, some of the services that are offered through Health and Wellness are fee-based. And so matriculated students, like regular students who are not Running Start, they're automatically charged fees for different services and resources. And it's not opt-in or opt-out, they're just automatically charged those things. And I think also as a residential campus, students who live here need to be able to go to a doctor. But since Running Start students don't live on campus, and I'm only explaining this just so you don't feel like it's unfair. But since none of you are living here and presumably access healthcare through your families and your community, that's why you can't access those things. Shiloh can attest to this, but the student fees for regular students are around $500 or $600 a quarter. You guys aren't charged any of those fees. And so you can access some resources because those departments have chosen to make them available to you, like the health promotion events, like case management. When it comes to counseling health services, there's also a lot of other liability issues besides the fees. And then with recreation, actually all students except for you guys are charged membership, whether they want to use it or not. So I'm not going to call out Shiloh, but since she's my student employee and I know her, I am going to call her out. But like, she doesn't necessarily want to use the rec center, but she has no choice. She is charged for it. Whereas for you guys, if you decide that you want to use it, you can choose to access a membership for that. And if you want to do membership, I'll drop the link in the chat for you. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat for Alexandra. And I've also asked, I just sent her an email too, asking if she can send me some flyers for those events that she was talking about, because I think all of us could benefit from adulthood skills, and you don't get a lot of opportunities for those kinds of things. So hopefully you guys will take advantage of them. I also am going to do a shout out for case management services because I work really closely with them. Chelsea and I, as advisors, we care deeply for you, and we care about your wellness, and we care that you're doing well academically and emotionally. But we are not mental health counselors. And so we want you to talk to us and let us know what your needs are. But also, at least only speak for myself, I'm trained as a historian who has worked as an academic administrator for 20 years. So I hit a wall sometimes when people, I have a fear sometimes of giving the wrong advice to students. And so I work really closely with case management where I will do referrals, or sometimes students will ask me for referrals. So I'll tell you this, and Chelsea is the same. I know we won't make a referral for you against your will, but I do want you to know that that option is available. And so if you come to me and talk to me about a crisis that's going on and I think you benefit from support, I will ask you if it's okay if I make a referral for you. And Chelsea does the same with students she works with. And I want to tell you that they are really, really, really good people who have really, really good resources to help students get connected to what they need, either on campus or in the community. And I only send students to people who I trust and know will provide good support to them, and they do. So I hope that you'll feel confident like letting us know. And she mentioned that there's the option to do a behavior of concern report. You can do that for anybody that you're concerned with on campus. And so if you have a friend that you are worried about and you don't know how to talk about it with anyone, you can do a behavior of concern report with that for that person. And you can also do it for yourself. So if you don't want to tell me or you don't want to tell a professor that you need assistance, but you know you need to tell someone, you can fill out that form and they will contact you and figure out how to get you the help that you need. And the question we have is not really relevant to this, but we will be emailing out a recording to everybody in the next week or so. But I think I don't think we have any other questions, but we'll for sure connect you. And thank you so much, Alexandra, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and next we have, I'm looking just to make sure I'm not ignoring my own schedule. Okay, so we have Chris Dennison from the, Dr. Chris Dennison from the Douglas Honors College, who is going to talk about different opportunities for participating in one of the cooler experiences on campus.
Okay, there we go. I dropped a file in the chat for you with some more information. I also have with me one of our faculty. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. I am Matt Martinson, and I am a professor in the Honors College working with Chris.
So yes, I'm Chris Dennison. I am the director of the Honors College, and I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to share with you about what we do here in the Honors College and how we can help you on your college journey, especially as some of you will be preparing to not come to Central. Although I do hope you choose Central. I am a Wildcat alum, as is Professor Martinson, and so we do like to share our enthusiasm for Central. The Honors College gives you an opportunity to complete some of your high school graduation requirements in honors designated courses. Our classes are unique to our college, not offered anywhere else, and the topics are very interesting and things that you might not expect to find here. I'm going to actually ask Professor Martinson to share a couple of the classes that he teaches. He teaches full-time here with the Honors College, so if you do decide after this you want to join, you will more likely than not have more than one class with him.
Yeah, I teach a lot of our classes. It's weird. So hi, everyone. I teach, as one example, I teach a class called The Aesthetics of Ugliness. And we happen to read the book Frankenstein, which you've maybe heard of. In that class, we look at art from around the world. We actually look at, what's considered beautiful art as well as what would be considered ugly art. And like many of my other courses, we use something like this, like the notion of ugliness, to kind of think about where our standards come from and our ideas about even things like good and evil, whatever. It's all connected with that. I teach a class on Satan. I teach a class on Jesus. So we have a strange, wild variety. we have I'm trying to remember some of the other people's classes, but it's just a really wild variety of courses, and they're not required, so they can look, and some people look at some of my classes and say, I don't want that one, so they'll take a class from someone else. But we have a real good variety, and the idea for us is you get to take a class that is uh, interdisciplinary. So instead of that thing you often find yourself doing throughout your education, where you go from math class to art class to PE, and you kind of just keep switching classes. Art classes are meant to show you how these things intersect and for you to discover ways in which those things work together. And it's honestly just the kind of classes I wish I had had when I was in college.
So some of the benefits of the Honors College to you as either a junior or a senior heading out of high school and into university is to be thinking about those experiences that you want to curate and cultivate. And honors is one of those things that can help you. Not all of you will choose Central. Some of you are going to choose some highly selective schools that are very competitive to get into. And you want to be thinking about what is it that you are doing to set yourself apart? What edge are you providing? And honors is one of those ways in which you can do that. Our classes are going to be on the smaller side. A benefit of Central is our classes are just generally smaller, but within the Honors College, we have no more than 24 students in a class. Some of our classes will be as small as 12, just kind of depends on what's going on in our quarter. We don't do a lot of traditional testing. You're just not going to find that in the Honors College. So when you think about honors, many people will think AP on steroids, or all they're going to be doing is honors homework, and they're not going to have time to do anything else and take advantage of the other opportunities on campus. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. While I have never taken an honors class, my daughter has gone through the Honors College, and she was also a Running Start student. So that's a major endorsement I have for this program, as my daughter went through it. We tend to use paper projects and presentations to assess your learning. So ways in which you can show us and demonstrate what you have learned and the connections, like as Professor Martinson was talking about, those interdisciplinary connections that we want you to start to see and develop, right? Sometimes when you start school, you are consumers of knowledge and information, where we want you to change that and be producers. We want you to focus on your learning and becoming a scholar, becoming someone that creates knowledge and shares it out. And the Honors College is one of those places in which you can do that. We also have a non-academic side to us. You heard about all the different activities across campus. We have activities within the Honors College as well. They do movie nights, game nights. Professor Martinson will take students hiking, because actually two of our classes have to do with the mountains call and mountain aesthetics. And we have taken students out hiking, and they've really enjoyed those times to get out and about. I think even a few years ago, we took students out snowshoeing, and that was a fun time as well. So we do try to balance the academic with the social. All we care about is your success. I have amazing faculty that work in the Honors College. I have the blessing of getting to hand select every faculty member that teaches. Every course that goes through the Honors College has been vetted by our faculty so that we can present to you the most amazing topics and hands down the best faculty on campus. I am a little biased, absolutely. So if you want more information, I see Angela has put some things in the chat, and there's a little PDF, or not PDF, is a picture there that has a QR code. The QR code will take you to my calendar, and you can set an appointment to come in and meet with me in Honors College. We're conveniently located just upstairs from Angela's office. So you can come up and meet with me, and maybe you'll be lucky and Professor Martinson will be in the room as well, or somewhere around the office, and you can ask him questions about the classes. So we thank you for your time, and I really thank you for choosing CWU to continue this next part of your education.
Okay, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So we have actually, this is the question I was going to ask, and a student just sent it to me. So they're wanting to know where they can see where the classes are available. And also, is this something that our online students can participate in, or might there be opportunities in the future?
Okay, so to see what classes are available, you can go into the My CWU, and our classes for the entire year are actually available for you to go and look at. We do have some seats available in classes for this fall. One of the classes that I know is quite popular for high school students, especially in the fall, is DHC 102. That's Articulating Honors Research Writing in the 21st Century. It will count for EHS. Angela can speak to the other schools, but EHS will take it as a junior, senior English requirement. Unfortunately, we don't offer online. We just haven't gotten there yet. And I don't anticipate it's going to happen during the year or 2 years that you're with Running Start. In order to go online, we want to deliver an excellent experience, and we just haven't figured out how quite to do that to make it a benefit to all of our students.
Applications, Chris?
Oh, yes, thank you. That's why he's here, to keep me going the right direction. So there are 2 ways to join the Honors College. If you have a 3.8 or higher, congratulations, welcome to the Honors College. We love to have you. If you don't have a 3.8, we just need an essay. So send us an example of your best writing. Why do I need an essay, Professor Martinson?
Because if we want to find out if you are ready to write for us yet, and if you're not, we want to help you get to where you need to be so that you can. So even people who we don't really we admit people, and some people we say, here's some things we would like you to try to do. And if they do those things and show us that they want to do the work, they get admitted as well. So we are very much about people who want to learn and grow, no matter if you did very poorly your first 2 years of high school and you want to turn that around, let's talk.
So I'm really proud of what our faculty do. I said earlier, they're all about your success. So we look at your potential, not past performance, which makes us kind of different in the honors world, that we are very inclusive. We're not an honors college that's trying to weed people out. We're an honors college that wants to bring people in. So was there anything else? Yes, so Angela put in there, we do have some classes that meet a couple days a week. I have a class that meets a Monday, Wednesday in the afternoon, like 2 to 4, and another one that's Tuesday, Thursday. Kind of different sort of classes. Ruthie Erdman from the English department. Amazing faculty. I don't know how many times I can say amazing, but they're pretty good. So anything else that we can answer for you?
While we're waiting, I'll say that if you are close enough that it's possible for you to go to participate in honors classes, and we've had people who've come from Kent to take classes, which is wild to me, but everyone has different boundaries and how far they'll go. But if you are able to attend classes in person, honors students we have like 5 to 10 Running Start students a year who do honors. They're all different from each other. They're all interesting, smart people. They don't all necessarily have like the top GPAs, but they do very well in honors classes. So I want to emphasize that if you're interested, you should reach out and talk with them because students really enjoy it. And I think that students feel really comfortable being themselves and figuring out who they are in the honors classes through the classes and through the activities that they do. It's a really good program. And certainly if you go to Ellensburg High School, there's already equivalencies established. So if you're an EHS student, you need English and you're willing to come on campus, options are available. If you don't go to EHS or if it's not on the equivalency guide, we can just talk to your high school. So I mean, if it makes sense that you can physically come here and want to take those classes, I'm not aware of any high school that would say, no, we won't look at it. So we can certainly talk with them about it. And yes, this is the hard thing with doing the online orientations with all the online students with honors. So just emphasizing Chris and Matt that we have students who would really love to do honors options if they could, but who live 3.5 hours away. It will, and I'll tell all of you students, we're in one of the oldest buildings on campus. So we don't actually have tech set up very well to do live streaming in our building. There are buildings at other parts of campus that might have those options, but we are in a very old historic building.
Yes, built in 1938. So, but I appreciate the interest in online. If you know, you can let Angela know. It helps me as I'm planning to know what the interest is in online honors. So if there is, I need a minimum of 12 online students to be able to run a class. So if I can get a minimum of 12 across, you know, Running Start and our other centers, then it becomes more viable for me to be able to do that. But then the next piece will be to find a faculty member who's excellent at online engagement in the classroom. So, but I don't rule it out. We're just not there yet. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Chris. And Matt, you're sticking around to provide advice as a faculty member?
Yes. Yes, I'll just keep going. Is that all right? Hi everyone. Again, I'm Matt still. I I I I guess I often forget that many of you might be like me, coming in, especially as a Running Start student. I came into college having never met a college professor and having very specific ideas about what they were and what college is based on TV. For me, I think it was The Cosby Show, which tells you how old I am, but whatever. So I thought I would share a little bit of perspective from my own life when I was a student, as well as my work here at Central as a professor. I've also taught for a few years at Big Bend Community College in Moses Lake. So I've done some of the rounds, and I will tell you a few things that you need to know to do well. So I hope you're ready. The first couple are just going to be real shockers, but here we go. Are you ready? For those of you who are in person, you should go to class. Now, that seems shocking, right? No, maybe when I was in high school, you just kind of had to go no matter what. And I get the impression maybe you don't always nowadays. You, whether you are an online student or in person, you're going to find yourself with opportunities where no one is no one is dragging you to class, no one is keeping tabs on you, and it is very easy to skip school in college, and people do it. It is very easy to be in an online synchronous class where you click the Zoom button off and you go and you're like playing video games and you pretend you're in class and you're not. It's very easy to do, but it really can come back and haunt you in college. So even what I see is people, their friends are out doing something, and it's real easy to just not go to class or not attend. And I would highly encourage you to do it. This is, we call it Running Start, and it really is kind of like you get a head start on things here, and it's a really great opportunity. And it's not so much, I don't think about this as like hurting future careers or anything like that. I just think about it as like this great opportunity you have. And I would hope that you remember that even in classes that seem a little dull, that you keep attending and remembering that you are given an opportunity that some of us didn't have when we were your age. And it's a really cool thing to get to take advantage of. So I would recommend you do that. And I would also, with that, recommend you do your homework, even the little things. Just do your work. So, okay, I'll be honest because I am, oh shucks, I am 47 and I've had some successes, so I feel okay sharing my successes and failures. So here we go. My first year in college, I left high school. I was like a C and D student in high school, and I went to Green River Community College in Auburn, Washington. I got a full-time job, and I got straight A's because I knew what college meant for me, and I felt really driven, and I had to manage my time well. Then I got accepted to Western, and I went to Western up in Bellingham, and I took 8 credits and I didn't have a job and I failed my classes because I kept sleeping through them because they started at 1 and it was too early in the day apparently to go to class. So it is real easy to go either way. And I would really just recommend you don't make the mistake I did, which was all my friends were always hanging out. So I wanted to go hang out. You're going to have all this freedom. If you're on campus, you have a lot of freedom. If you're online, it can really feel like you have a lot of freedom too. Don't get tricked by that. Set yourself up with good schedules that you just follow. It doesn't have to be stressful. If you just follow a schedule and do your work every day, college actually isn't that stressful. You just have to stay on top of it. So I would really recommend you do that. With that, I'm basically giving you all the advice I should have followed when I was younger. One of the things that took me a very long time in life to do is to start keeping a calendar. And you're going to have an email through Outlook, which I hope you've already used, your central email. It has a calendar option. Fill that out. Put all of your classes in there. Put times you're going to study in there and kind of keep track of your days that way. Use that calendar option, and then you'll be able to check on that when you are checking your email, which you should be checking multiple times a day. We don't send you, I hope none of your professors, we don't send you text messages or snap Facebook messages. I am so old. We send emails because we're ancient. So check your emails. It's a good way to get used to what was once the adult world. So by the time you're a professional, it'll be one robot talking to another. But for now, check your email. And uh, with electronics, gosh, I feel so old. I just got to say all my things. When you're in class, you are going to want to check your phone. Some of you, maybe you sit in classes and you just have your phone out all the time and it just is fine. It is not fine. Please don't do this in your classes. So today I received an email from a Running Start student asking for a letter of recommendation. She is applying to some Ivy League schools. I am going to write her the best letter, and she is going to get into an Ivy League school. I get letters from other students who are on their phones every day. I do not write them letters. They are on their own. So it matters. It matters big time. So please note that. And with that too, if some of you are using AI for schoolwork, there's ways to use that. If you're using it to help you think, gather ideas. Okay, if you are using that to write essays, it is one of the places where some people like me show far less mercy. So please know that passing work off as your own when it's not your own could hurt you at school. So just do the work instead and you'll be great. Okay, last things. If you want to find essays online, if you want to use AI, it probably means you're feeling anxious about your work. So instead, there are really easy things to do. First of all, you can go to our get help from our tutoring centers, who you heard from earlier, but you can also come to office hours. So I found out recently that someone thought office hours meant that professors were in their office working and you weren't supposed to bother them. So I want to make sure you know. On the first day of class, you will hear from a professor, whether it's online or in person, that they have office hours. Those are times where we invite students to come in. You can just drop in and get help. So if you're struggling, you get to come to us and we get to offer advice, help, or whatever to help you do well. I really recommend you take advantage. It is a great way to get to know your professors. I don't care that my students know everything, but the students who work hard, who show they care, who ask questions, they do well. So if you are someone who is maybe not feeling great about some part of your assignment, go to office hours. If you're shy and introverted, I get it. So am I. We have to fight through that somehow. It is a good thing to try to show up at office hours and get to know your professors. It helps you stand out. It helps you succeed. And it really it helps you in ways you don't always even know, like especially with confidence as well, feeling good about the way you are doing in class. Okay, my very last Yes, whoever just asked that. Sorry, I'm just being interrupted, but I like that. Yes. Yeah, I mean, we write letters of recommendation for students for lots of things, and it definitely helps if you are not just some anonymous person. And if you are doing Running Start virtually, I know it's harder to get to know your professors, but I have had students when I was teaching online, they would email me and ask questions. They would email me and introduce themselves because they're like, they wanted to stand out from the crowd, and it worked. So you don't have to do anything over the top, but just being someone who's not just a face in the crowd, there's little things you can do that really matter. Okay. One of the last things I learned in school that helped me a lot was I started taking chances. I think there was a part of me sometimes that didn't want to take that, like that hard class, because I felt nervous about it, even though I kind of wanted to, because what if it hurts my GPA? Really, really, um, follow your interests or your curiosities, and you will do well. You don't let fear ever control where you're going to go in school. You have required classes, but you're going to have options for more classes beyond that with Running Start. Take something quirky, take something that you're like, I think I might like that, I don't know. I kind of wanted to take English classes, but I thought they would be too hard. And so I didn't, because I was like, I don't want to write essays. I hate writing essays. And so I didn't. And then I literally dropped out of college, and I came back and I was an English major, and my grades shot up. And then I became an English professor. Who knew? So follow those things you're curious about, take some risks, and you will find rewards with that. Okay, I talked too long. That's it. Thanks, everyone.
Are you going to take questions or?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'll take questions. Sure.
Okay, so folks, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Matt, what would you recommend if a student needs to be sick or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Be sick. Okay. If you are, yeah, if don't come to class sick, it's terrible. Don't get everyone sick. Just email your professor and say, I'm really sorry, but I'm sick and I need to miss class. And when you do that, you can ask, it's okay to ask if there's anything you're missing or if there's someone you can talk to. Please never say, am I missing anything important? Because that is accidentally or purposely insulting, but it is okay to miss class. And I honestly, it's okay sometimes to miss class in general, but I have students who kind of go do a few too many fun things and then they get sick, and now all of a sudden they've missed a lot of class. So I would recommend missing none so that when you get COVID midway through the quarter, you haven't burned through 10 absences already. So, but yeah, if you need to miss class, email your professor. And especially, I know Running Start, if you're going to go take, what's this? SATs or do the AP test or something, we're understanding. Just email us and let us know. And you have other things going on, and we have. I always consider that we have a contract with you if we're going to let you come in. Thank you, Sawyer. If you're going to come in here to Central as a student, as a high school student, then we are going to be treat you as such, as far as we're going to treat you like a college student, but we're also going to accept that you're a high school student. You might be going to a band event and you need to go do this thing or whatever. So it's okay. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Okay, one more question. If a student has a grade dispute with a professor, should their mom call you?
Um, no. Okay. There's an obvious answer to that, but there's also there's a certain dance you get to do at the school, and I hate dancing, so I don't know why that's my analogy. But first of all, your parents don't get to contact us. I mean, part of why I was going to be a high school teacher, and then part of why I didn't, was I love the fact that when your parents email me, I get to click delete and I get to ignore it. No offense to the parents out there, I love you guys. But the thing is we have to treat you like college students, and I don't get to email my college students' parents, and I have to act like they don't exist. Um, so you have to, it is one of the problems here, or one of the, not problems, one of the things you do as a college student is you have to advocate for yourself. Advocating for yourself, there are good ways and poor ways to do that. The good ways to do that, I think we would know rhetorically, is we ask questions, we ask for clarification, and the bad way, of course, is insulting and or coming at someone a little too hard. So many of us, not all of us, I'm sure, but many of us here are reasonable people and willing to hear you out. So, and just like I would say, just like in high school, or middle school, or anywhere else, there are places where students receive grace, places where students can get extra credit or maybe try something again. So it is always worth asking. It is just worth asking well.
Okay, well, I'm just seeing adoration for you and a desire that you teach online classes, but no more questions. So thank you, Matt. And those of you who are in person, I encourage you to try to check out the Honors College and take classes with Matt. He's a great instructor. He is not the only great instructor though, so you will enjoy your other professors too, but he's one of my faves and that's why I asked him. And maybe we can start a petition to get Matt to occasionally teach online classes. So
Sure.
thank you, Matt and Chris. And we will now take a very short break. So like 2 minutes because we're on Zoom and honestly, it's kind of weird to take a break beyond that. But I know maybe you need to use the restroom or something. So we will get started again at 6:57, where we will talk about running start content. It's not super long. I know you've been here for a while. And then we'll give you the opportunity to turn on your cameras if you want to introduce yourselves and, ask questions verbally. Just again, to protect your identities that we're doing that. So take a short break and we will be back. And check in the meantime, do you want to pull up the presentation and share your screen? You're on mute, although I can hear you through the door. But yeah, if you want to pull it up now, so that way we can have it up on the screen so people can see it.
Done that entirely too many times tonight. Okay, we can see it, yeah. Okay.
We'll want to put it in presenter mode so that it shows on the whole screen instead of the
Okay.
sidebar. If you want it to show that.
Chelsea, have we seen the red bird? Okay. Cool.
Okay, friends, it's 6:57. I want you guys to get out of here on time at 7:30. So we are going to get started. So again, I am Angela. I'm the Associate Director of Running Start. I do advising in Ellensburg. I'm occasionally available online. And we also have
Me, Chelsea. I, of course, am the online advisor for CWU Running Start, and I will be working with most of you, especially the online students.
we're on mute, homie.
I got the split screen going. Reminder, yeah, my name is Chuck. I am the program coordinator for the program. I help out with applications. I answer any general questions you have. And then, yeah, I'm usually the one processing applications. So.
Hello again, I'm Shiloh. Once again, Running Start peer mentor. If you need help finding something or scheduling an appointment, or you need help just figuring out college stuff in general, I am also a college student and used to be a Running Start student, so I can help you work through any difficulties that you run into. And yeah, that's me.
And Shiloh, I'm actually going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to ask you to do a very quick, what is your advice? Because Shiloh is a former Running Start student. She was Running Start for 2 years. She is amazing. And so Shiloh, just like 3 bullet points. What should you do as a Running Start student to be successful?
Okay. My recommendations is one, get connected. Being able to talk to your peers and being able to study with them and talk to them about any issues that you run into with shared classes is wonderful. 2, I would say talk to your professors if you have any issues with the class, or you're running into problems with assignments, or you don't understand something, just talk to them. They're all really nice. And then 3, we are here to help. So again, if you need any help, just ask.
Thank you. She didn't even know I was going to do that. That's how awesome she is. So if you need help, Shiloh's a good resource for you. And now I'll shut up, Chuck, and you can do your thing.
Okay. All right. So at least as Running Start students, you have 3 important forms of communication. Number 1 being your CWU account. With the documents that were sent to you both physically and electronically, you should have gotten your login, especially if you guys are in this part of the process. You have your login, you have your ID number. Your CWU is basically your main hub. You go there to check out your class schedule. You check out what fees you might have. It tells you a little bit about the campus itself and kind of programs. You can get your unofficial transcript. Basically, it's just your, like I said, it's your hub. It's everything that you want to check out. It's not overly complicated and it's very easy to navigate. So, for instance, this is what it looks like when you access your CWU. Again, you see your class schedule, you see where you can pay your fees if you have any at this point in time. You have where you have your advisor. It might say Angela or Chelsea or both. If you have enrolled for a quarter, it will tell you when your enrollment date is. Again, very easy to navigate. Very, it's not complex at all, so don't be scared. And if you have any questions, just please feel free to reach out to us. Next is your CWU email. So typically, we communicate through email. We send out messages every day or every other day. We send pretty frequent blasts through our email. We'll occasionally send Canvas, but if you want to get in contact with us outside of the phone, you're going to want to send us email. Again, the same login. It's your CWU username at cwu.edu. It's your same password. Please check this. We do not normally send emails to your personal. That's kind of an occasional instance, especially if we need to contact you for transcripts or your CWU email isn't active, but please check your CWU email. That's the one we will be contacting more often than not. Lastly, your Canvas, that is where you can check your class courses. Sometimes your professors will put out blasts or announcements and they won't do it through their email. They'll instead do it through Canvas. You can check grades, you can check course history. Once again, it's your CWU username and password. So that doesn't change throughout any of these modalities. Again, so long as you don't make any changes yourself, or if you do, it will usually affect every one of these online platforms. So, and if you have any questions or concerns or Canvas just isn't working for you, please go to the website listed. You can also contact the service desk. They'd be more than willing to help you out on that too. And again, please pay attention to these 3 links: your CWU, your Outlook email, and your Canvas. Online learning basics for students. I can try to check the website, just for whatever reason the link isn't working, but you want to go to it real quick. So student support shows you a few different things. Disability services, student health and wellness, we spoke about this. Diversity and Equity Center, so definitely something that you can take a look at that's meant to help support you as a student. Student fees, so every quarter, even though your tuition is covered, there might be some other fees attached to it, so you'll have a $25 multimodal fee every quarter. It's attached to your account. You will pay $3 per credit, up to 10 credits for a technology fee. So roughly it's about $55 or so per quarter that you're enrolled. This could also include, other fees could include if a class you are enrolled in, say like a science class, they have a materials fee. You know, you need to get a lab coat and goggles, that kind of thing. If you have an art class and you pay for like pastels or anything along those lines, certain classes might have materials fees. It was touched upon earlier, but if you want to join, say, the rec center, that is not something that you pay for currently. You have to pay for that separately, and that is roughly, I believe, $122 a quarter. You can pay for the yearly, but that's kind of the amount that we have. And you can access and pay for those fees in your MyCWU account, where I showed you in the student service center portion. We do have, for those that are in need of some assistance, we do have a book loan program. Students that qualify, it's available to students who have who receive a free or reduced lunch, their families on public assistance, SNAP benefits, anything along those lines. You're a foster youth who's homeless. There are various circumstances where you might qualify. We do loan out some books for those that maintain GPA. You do have to have a 3.0 GPA if you stay in the program. We cannot loan inclusive access books. That's something that the professor does and you have to take care of separately, so we do not cover that. And then if you're uncertain at all, if you think you qualify or not, check out the application, fill it out anyway, and we can certainly work with you and help you out and see if you actually qualify for some kind of assistance. Now I'm going to turn it over to Chelsea, and she will take the next slides. So Chelsea, whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you. So I've met with many of you for advising already. You'll meet with your Running Start advisor throughout the quarter for support, and if you need help with classes, academic planning, high school or college, other assistance, we are available. So we're in the middle of advising for the beginning of fall quarter right now. So we're meeting with students to help them enroll and get aspects of their account set up. But we are available throughout the quarter. So if you need assistance, you are absolutely welcome to meet with me online or with Angela in person. And then you are required to meet with a Running Start advisor every quarter before you register for classes. So you'll want to keep an eye on your CWU student email. I know Professor Martinson said to check it multiple times per day. We will send you information there when we're ready to do advising, for example, for winter quarter. So you'll want to make sure that you are checking regularly and then are ready for advising for upcoming quarters. Advising is also available in person and online. So online, you'd be meeting with me, in person with Angela. Online advising takes place via Zoom. If you need help with anything, contact our office immediately. I know we keep saying make sure to reach out, communicate. That's one of the best things you can do in college. And because everything is kind of done on a condensed timeline, our quarters are 10 weeks and we've got a finals week after that. It's really important that if you have an issue that you take care of it quickly. Also, please remember that enrollment forms must be turned in every quarter. So for changing schedules, at the beginning of the quarter, lots of people are dropping classes, adding classes, swapping into other classes. There's a lot of shifting that goes around at the beginning of the quarter. The deadline to make changes to your classes for the fall is September 30th, which is the following Tuesday, I believe, from when we start classes on Wednesday, September 24th. This means that you can add, drop, or change classes through that day. After that, everything's locked in. And then I say after that, you can also request an uncontested withdrawal prior to November 10th. So there's a deadline for adding, dropping, changing classes. If you drop classes during the change of schedule period, they just disappear from your schedule. They don't show up on your transcript if you were enrolled. If you choose to do an uncontested withdrawal, if you get halfway through the quarter and it's just you have a class that's not working for you, you can withdraw. Uncontested means you don't have to provide documentation for that. But you want to make wise class selections, of course. So having multiple withdrawals on your transcript isn't necessarily a good look. Having, one is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that when you withdraw from the course, you will get a W on your transcript. It just indicates that you were in the class and then withdrew. It doesn't impact your GPA. And then after that, so after the November 10th uncontested withdrawal deadline, the only option for withdrawing is either a hardship petition or a complete withdrawal from the university. And the deadline for that is our last day of classes, which is Friday, December 5th. A hardship withdrawal would requires a petition where you would contact the registrar's office, but what they are looking for is something that happened to you that hindered your ability to be successful in class. When I was a freshman in college, one of my best friends was in a really bad car accident and was in the hospital for a week. She was able to get a hardship withdrawal for that quarter. And then a complete withdrawal would just mean you withdraw from all of your classes. A hardship withdrawal shows up as an HW, and the complete withdrawal would show W's in all of your classes. So our academic standards, Running Start students must maintain a 2.0 GPA, which is essentially a C average. Each quarter, you want to make sure to do that each quarter to remain in good academic standing. So the first quarter that a student's GPA falls below a 2.0, they're placed on probation from the Running Start program and must schedule ongoing coaching meetings, meet with your advisor, talk about what the issues were, and come up with a plan for improvement. And then, or you can talk to the peer mentor as well. I think Shiloh would also be a wonderful resource there. And then, in order to continue in the program, you want to make sure that you're connecting and communicating and really proving that you're willing to work hard the next quarter. The second quarter that a student's GPA falls below a 2.0, you're placed on suspension from the Running Start program and you're no longer eligible to enroll in Running Start classes. Students can certainly appeal for that, write a written appeal that we will go over. But those standards are in place to really safeguard, your GPA. There are lots of things you can do before your grade drops. You can withdraw. You can do a hardship or a complete withdrawal. So we want to make sure that you're communicating if you have any issues, so that we can make sure that you keep your cumulative quarterly GPA above a 2.0. And parent access to records. So this is an important one. CWU staff, which includes the Running Start staff, even though you are high school students, must follow all CWU records and FERPA policies regarding student records. So the staff are only able to release student information to the student and the high school. So by signing your enrollment verification form, that allows us to have conversations with your high school. As authorized by your quarterly Running Start enrollment verification form, we will send grades and enrollment and things like that to your high school counselors. But if we have a concern about a student, or if you hear about issues in the classroom, if we get flagged if a student isn't attending class, or if their grade is really low, we would communicate with the high school. Unless a student provides permission to release information to other authorized individuals in their MyCWU account. So the Running Start office, again, provides quarterly grade reports and shares all relevant and available concerns information with the high school counselors. If you sign a FERPA release for your parents, for example, it doesn't mean that we will send them grade reports or quarterly grade reports. Angela and I have no idea what your grades are. We don't have access to any of that. What that means is that oftentimes if a parent has a question and they contact us, this gives us the ability to be able to answer them more thoroughly if a student has signed a FERPA release form. So some important dates coming up. September 24th, 2 weeks from today, is the start of our quarter. So classes will start on that day. September 30th, the following Tuesday, is when that change of schedule period ends. So if you are adding, dropping, swapping classes, it's best to do it by the end of the day on September 30th. October 1st, fees are due. November 10th is the uncontested withdrawal deadline, so it's about halfway through the quarter. It is also when winter registration begins, so we can start enrolling for classes at that time. And then Friday, December 5th, hardship complete withdrawal deadline. And it's also the last day of classes. So this will be the last day when you might be doing something new in class. It's the last official day of your coursework. The following week, December 9th through 12th, is final exams. Particularly for online students, you'll just want to make sure you're really clear about what your final will look like. Sometimes instructors will have online finals, but oftentimes there'll be something like a paper or project that you'll be turning in, but you want to make sure you're paying attention to when your finals are. For those of you who are in person and have finals, there'll be a day and time that you will have your final exam during that week. December 12th is the end of the quarter officially, and December 16th is when grades are due. That means that grades are due for instructors, so they will be sending grades over and they will be posted officially on the following day, the Wednesday, and we will send those grades out to high schools at that time. So advice for a successful quarter. I think you've already heard a lot of this already, but you want to check with your CWU email and Canvas every day. Use a calendar to keep track of assignments and deadlines. Take notes when listening to lectures and review and rewrite those notes every day. Sometimes it helps to really jog your memory. Schedule study time, but also schedule breaks. So make sure that you're giving yourself some time to relax. The time to start studying is not right before a test, so make sure that you are planning ahead. If you need help, reach out to Running Start staff, your professors. I know Professor Martinson was talking about office hours, which is a great thing to attend either online or in person. Tutoring and other support services, and then fellow students. Also checking in with your peer mentors, good idea. If you are having a technology problem, tell your professor immediately and then seek help. So we know that tech stuff happens, especially with online stuff, but if you let it go for a while, then you miss a lot of class. Professors are much more likely to be understanding and flexible if you let them know right away and then make efforts to get things fixed. Want to connect with other students and collaborate. So working with other students, maybe you have other students in your classes. You might meet students online on a discussion board. That would be an excellent resource. And then ask others. Talk to your parents. Sometimes it's really helpful to just kind of keep them in the loop about what's going on. Talk to your friends, mentors. They can help keep you accountable with deadlines for things.
Okay, and then I'm back to give you some other advice. So one of the things that I think is really different from college and high school is how you interact with your professors. Something to keep in mind is that your teachers at your high school, they all have education degrees. And part of having an education degree is that they teach you how to interact with students and how to get people motivated and that kind of thing. So hopefully if they see that you are struggling, whatever, they're going to reach out to you. College professors are usually very nice. You guys met Matt. He's awesome. We have lots of really awesome professors. But a big difference is college professors don't have usually teaching degrees unless they're teaching in the teaching program. Many of them are experts in their field. So an English professor has a degree in English. A math professor has a degree in math. So that might mean that the way you interact with them is going to be a little bit different. Generally speaking, here at the college, most of our professors are going to have PhDs or they're going to have master's degrees. And a respectful way to interact with them is to refer to them as professor or doctor. It takes many years of work to get a doctorate degree. And so as a sign of respect, you want to use that. It's not common unless somebody asks you to call them by Mr. or Mrs. To call people Mrs. Braun, for instance, or Mr. Dixon or Miss Riviera. It would be much more common to say like Professor Dixon or Dr. Braun or Dr. Whoever. Some professors like Matt will have you call them by their first name. Chelsea and I are not, we're not professors, nor is Chuck, but we all like to be called by our first names. So sometimes students will call us Miss whoever and whatever, and that's totally fine. But you know, some people are going to be more formal, some people are going to be more casual. But until you know that, you want to refer to any of your professors as professor or doctor, last name. So Professor Martinson, Dr. Sanchez, like that. In your classes, you heard Matt saying like review the syllabus. So you want to check your syllabus the very first day of class, as soon as it's posted. If you have a professor who posts their classes earlier on campus than the first day of school, review that information. That is a contract for your class. And so some professors are going to expect that you look there first if you have a question. So if you're uncertain about like what should be working on this week, well, it's going to be in the syllabus. They're going to have a schedule of what you need to do. They're going to have a policy about what their attendance is, whether or not they're going to accept late work. Some people might accept late work. A lot of people aren't going to accept late work, or they might accept late work, but they might have a penalty. So if you turn it in one day late, then it's going to be one full grade less. So many questions are easily answerable by looking at the syllabus first. And something that, you know, Matt said is when you're like asking if like we're missing anything important, whatever, something I tell my students that is nobody like wastes their own time on purpose, right? So if your professor sends you an email, if our office sends you an email, you want to make sure that you're reading that. It's not for their own benefit that they're sending it. And your professor didn't make a syllabus because they thought it was fun. They made a syllabus because it's required, and it's a way for you to know what the expectations are for the class, what you need to be working on, and it's a contract between you and your professor. So if anything does happen later where you feel like, actually, I don't feel like this fell within your grading policy, you have that syllabus to go by. In your classes, do assigned reading before class. So whether you're taking a class that is online or in person, you're still going to have a schedule of this is when we're covering things. And so you want to make sure that if you have class on Wednesday, we're going to cover chapter 3, that you have read chapter 3 by Tuesday night. So that way, when you guys are going over that in the class, you already know what's going on. A lot of online professors are going to have recorded lectures that they'll release. So you want to read the information in the book before you listen to the lecture, because that will give you the opportunity to then gain more insight into what your professor is saying. Excuse me. In all your communication, be polite. So whether you're emailing, particularly with your professors, you heard Matt saying this, but with everybody, be polite. You don't know when life is going to help make you come across somebody that you've had experience with before. So it's always a safe assumption anyway to be polite to people and assume that that might be a benefit for you later. But with professors, something I explain to students all the time is if you say that the grading policy is you have to have a 72% to have a C. and you have a 71.4%. Let's aim higher than a C, but let's say that's what our situation is. If you have if you've had interaction with your professor, whether online or in person, you've sent them polite emails, you've shown that you are trying to put your best effort forth, that you have good faith towards the class, you engage with your classmates, you engage with your professor, it's much more likely that they'll bump you to 72 than if you are somebody who sends curt emails, who doesn't communicate, who comes across as a little bit demanding. And this is just a good life rule, is, you know, be nice to people and be polite. Use appropriate grammar. I get a shocking number of emails from students where I literally don't know who they are. Because for one, they're not using their central email account. So main rule, use your CWU email account. You all have them. I've said in the chat multiple times, your login is the same for everything. So if you've been able to log into my CWU, you can log into your email. And if you can log into those things, you can log into Canvas. But use your CWU email. That is the official email for Central. That is what we're supposed to respond to. We'll respond, Running Start Talk, we'll respond to general questions you send us from your personal emails, but we're not going to be able to respond to like things about records and stuff. And with your professors, you want to use your central email because it's required to, it looks like you know what you're doing. And when you're using it, again, be polite, use appropriate grammar, use appropriate spelling. People don't love getting emails that are like, hey, did I miss something today? No greeting, no closing. We don't even know who you are because you didn't tell us who you are and your name isn't on your email. So, you know, pay attention to those things. I have an example with an email so you guys can see. So check if you want to move forward. So here's an example of a good email to a student. Yes, I wrote it because I've seen a number of very bad emails, and I wanted to give examples for students of how it would be good to communicate with your professors. So make it easy for them. So first, be polite. So dear Professor Stein, I hope you're well, right? Because we're nice and we're being polite with our professors. Identify yourself. Don't make it difficult for professors to know who you are and what class you're in. So my name is Angela, ID number, and I'm a student in your Math 130-001 class that meets at 10. I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday at 9:30, so I'll have to miss class. I will read through the syllabus and the course materials for the day, but I'm wondering if I could also meet with you if I have any questions about the course material. Do you have any open times on your schedule for Wednesday between 3 and 5? Thank you for your times with closing, polite closing. And then again, my full name, my ID number, what class I'm in. Your professors might not necessarily ask you to do exactly the same thing, but they are not going to be disappointed if you do this in your first interaction with them. And then they will give you guidance in terms of what they expect from you. But you want to put your best foot forward in your classes and again in life. I also have some other advice for you before we close, just because I am also an advisor and I've been working this program for a long time. So if you don't have voicemail set up on your phone, make sure you set it up because that is something that you need when, for one, we're going to call you for advising if you don't schedule advising. Two, you guys are approaching a time in your life where you are probably going to be starting to get jobs if you don't already have one. You're going to be looking at internships, you're going to be looking at scholarships and things like that. You need to have voicemail because if people call you, they don't want to have to call you 10 times if you don't answer the phone. And you need to be professional because you are entering the professional world. I will give an example that everybody who works with me has heard because we get this all the time. If you have the voicemail where it's like, hello, 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 oh, sorry, I'm not here. Nobody likes that voicemail. Nobody likes calling and leaving voicemails on that voicemail. Poor Shiloh calls and she has so many people who have that voicemail and it's frustrating. So, and it's not professional. I personally hire in our office and I would never hire somebody whose voicemail was like that. And that's the thing, thinking about professionalism. So in your interactions, again, address people appropriately, address them with appropriate titles unless they give you suggestions that they want something different. Be polite in your emails, be polite in class. If you're taking in-person classes, sit towards the front, introduce yourself with whether you're in person or online, introduce yourself to your professors, let them know why you're taking the class. You don't have to say that you're Running Start, by the way. In fact, I don't even encourage you to do that. Say that you're taking the class because you're interested in it, because hopefully you will be interested in classes. Tell your advisor if anything is going on. Our job is to help you. We're not going to judge you. I will say for myself, when I was in Running Start, I failed PE because I didn't go to class. And I knew I wasn't going, obviously. And I knew I was going to fail it, obviously. I even talked to my professor about it, and he was like, just keep going. And I was like, no, I should just withdraw. And he was like, no, just come to class. And then I didn't go to class and I failed. And it wasn't the end of the world, but it wasn't great. When I apply for jobs, I have to give out my college transcripts, and I have very good grades and then F's for PE, which isn't a great look. I mean, it's silly at this point, but just talk to us. We don't want you to fail your classes. We want you to be successful. So if you have a crisis going on, talk to us. If you are just being irresponsible and you didn't do your work, like me, that is okay. Just, it's not great, but we might have a solution. So come and talk with us about it. Do your advising on time so that you can make sure you can get registered on time. We will post many notifications for you on Canvas and via email, and eventually Shiloh will call letting you know when advising needs to take place. Right now, we have almost 400 Running Start students who work with either Chelsea or myself. All of you are going to be assigned to both of us. So if you are an online student but you can't reach Chelsea because she's out, you can contact me and you'll have my name there. If you are an in-person student but you want to talk to Chelsea, that is okay. You'll be assigned to both of us. But online classes in particular can fill up super, super, super fast. So it's really important that you do your advising on time each quarter so that you can register on time so you can get into the classes that you need. As I'm sure you've heard if you've met with myself or Chelsea, there's no guarantee with classes. There's no running start classes. There's just classes. You compete with other people to get in. So check your email regularly and do your stuff on time. Weird thing, but do not go on vacation during the quarter, even if you are an online student. Unless you can be 100% certain that you're going to be able to have internet access, keep track of the time zone, turn in the energy and desire to do your work, and the ability to turn in your work on time, it is a bad idea for you to go on vacation when we are in session, whether you're online or in person. You guys met Matt. He said, well, if we know in advance, very few professors are going to be down with giving you extensions because you were on vacation. So parents in the room, don't take your students on vacation when they have classes in session. Students, don't go on vacation when classes are in session. You might need to withdraw if that happens. And have fun and, talk to us. Be open. College is a really good time for personal growth. It's a time when you're going to be exposed to different ideas, to different people, to different things that you might not have done before. And that doesn't mean that you have to change yourself or change your values or anything like that. But it is a time for learning and growth opportunity for you. And so you will inevitably be in classes where you're going to meet people who are different from you. We have students at this campus from all over the world. Literally, Chuck and I are in the same room, and right on the other side of him is the international office where we see hundreds of international students all the time. So it's a really good time for you to be able to connect with other people who have different views and different values in a really safe environment. And I hope that you will take advantage of that. And I said in the chat, I would show you guys how to look up your books. So I will do that. And then we are going to turn off the recording and you guys will be able to answer any questions or ask any questions with the recording turned off. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. Are we all seeing this? Does it say Wildcat Shop? Chuck and Chelsea are the only ones with cameras off. Somebody has, okay, so, and you both are using a green screen, so your arms are not showing. Okay, so you can Google CWU Wildcat Shop. Go to wildcatshop.net. And then up at the top, it says textbooks. You're going to click on that and then go to order textbooks. And then you can put your student ID number in here and click get book list, and it should have you log into my CWU and generate a list of books that you will need. Sometimes that works well, sometimes it doesn't work well. So another option you have is to search manually for your books. And if I pull this up, are you guys seeing the PowerPoint? Or is it still, okay. So on here, right, if you go to your student center, you're going to see your classes. And so what you're going to look at is, what is the subject? So for these, it's English, and then 102 is the course number, and then there's a section number. So you're going to look at the section number for this is 001. And then there's a Korean class, Korean 151 A01. A is for online classes. So if you're taking an online class, probably the section number is going to be A for you. It's going to start with A. And then there's Physics 101-001. This is from fall 2020. This is very old. So I don't know if it will necessarily that there is a physics, but I know there's the other two. So we're going to scroll down here again by department, and we'll find English. And then 102. And then 001. And that puts it in here under selected courses. And then we're going to go to Korean. And there's still spots in Korean, by the way, if anybody wants to take Korean. The professor is really popular. And then A01 for the online class. And that's going to add it down there. And then we'll check and see if there's a physics. So physics, and there is 101 and then 001. And then you just go down and go to choose books. And then it's going to show you the books that you need. And when it says here, course materials beginning with IA or DLP are part of the Inclusive Access Program, that means that those are books that you're going to access on Canvas once your instructor turns your class on, and they're online books. And they're going to charge automatically onto your student account. You will get an email letting you know that you're using that. And if you don't want to use it because you don't want to pay the charge, you have to contact the bookstore and ask them to remove that for you. But if you do that, you need to then figure out with your professor how you're going to access materials that you need. So for English 102, it says OER English 102, no purchase necessary. So that means for this, if you have something that is OER, that is an open education resource. You don't have to buy it because the university is going to make it available to you for free. So when it says these prices over here, new and used, and it's 0, that means you don't have to buy anything. For Korean, there is a book. So it's listed here. It's not inclusive access. It's something that you would buy from the bookstore, or you could use the ISBN number, type it into Amazon or A-Books or whatever other website you might want to use, and then you can look and see if you can buy it that way. But this one has a physical book. This one says required materials not currently available. What that means is that this professor has not told the bookstore yet if they're using a book or what they need. So sometimes you might have to check it more than once just to make sure that something doesn't get added later. Professors are like everybody. Some people are really type A and they get everything done super fast, and you might see your Canvas classes early, and other people wait till the very last possible moment. Not saying that about this professor, she's awesome. But some people you're not going to find out until later. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to stop recording, and then